Yeah, my man delivered the baby. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because I guarantee if you want to see me now, you're gonna want to see me later. If you're new here, hey, how you doing? And if you're returning, hey, how you doing? I'm so sorry about this chair. It's already like making all types of noise, but I'm so excited and so nervous to be making this video, y'all. I have never done a story time on this channel, and y'all already know from the vlogs that your girl be all over the place, okay? But that may be because I was pregnant. I'm really trying to keep her asleep. She may be hungry, so I may have to like pause. But yeah, as you can tell from the title, this is my labor and delivery video, aka labor and delivery story time. And my whole pregnancy, my whole labor and delivery was insane, y'all. If you had told me 9 months ago, 10 months ago that I was gonna be going through what I went through, all of that, I would have been like, you're lying. I would have been, no, that's not gonna happen to me. No, God knew what he was doing, okay? He knew exactly what he was doing. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into the story time. She didn't want to be in the video. I had baby girl on July 12th at 11:48 a.m. I got my first membrane sweep June 28th, and I was 37 weeks and 5 days. In the doctor's office, I am basically 38 weeks and 37 weeks and 5 days. So yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm trying to breathe. I'm gonna need a membrane sweep today, and this could be the beginning of the labor and delivery vlog, but I'm literally so nervous. I did my membrane sweep and he checked my cervix. I am 3 centimeters dilated and 80% effaced. So that's like a huge jump from the last video. The lady, oh, she did a good job doing it. I mean, she really didn't want to do it, so I felt like it didn't work because she didn't want to do it. Really, all that happened was some slight cramping afterwards. We went walking a little bit and nothing really too major, regular cramping. Then the following week after that, I got another membrane sweep, and this is with a different doctor. And if you don't know what a membrane sweep is, then it's pretty much just a cervix check, and then they go, if you're dilated, they go farther into your cervix and they take their 2 fingers and they basically do a big circle and remove the sac from the wall, pretty much. And it's supposed to help stimulate your cervix or, like, you know, just jumpstart labor. I got my second membrane sweep, right? It was a little bit more pressure. He told me that it probably doesn't hurt me because I was dilated. The second one didn't work, but I did lose my mucus plug and a little bit of a bloody show. But you can lose that multiple times and it can grow back multiple times. So there really isn't like a big indicator that you're going into labor, but it was pretty exciting at the time. 2 days after my second membrane sweep, we went to the hospital. Could not feel her move. So we went to the hospital and they did all the checks or whatever. And they, you know, basically was shaking my belly trying to get her to move, and it was taking forever. She eventually moved and it was pretty good. Then I got my cervix checked at the hospital and they told me I was 1 centimeter. So I was really confused on how one doctor tells me I am 3 going into 4, and then another doctor tells me that I am 1 centimeter. That was pretty weird to me, and that was pretty discouraging. I was pretty upset, and I was like on the verge of crying because I was like so frustrated because I was also having prodromal labor, which is like false labor, for weeks beforehand. So at this point in my pregnancy, I was just like, I'm just gonna get the membrane sweeps. If it happened, it happened. If it don't, it don't. I really wasn't like, I was in denial. As my friends would say, I'm in denial about it, all of it. After I leave the ER, the week goes by and then Friday comes, and actually that Thursday came because I called and tried to see if somebody had canceled an appointment so I can get an appointment with the actual doctor rather than a nurse midwife. I got one and I went to him and I actually really liked him. I got to see him and I asked him to do a membrane sweep. He told me that I was 3 centimeters and I was 100% effaced. He said that I really don't think that you need a membrane sweep. I really don't think you need an induction. I really don't think that you will last like this weekend. And I was like, sir, in my head, I'm like, sir, I'm not really listening to that because so many people have told me I don't think that you're gonna make it. I don't think everybody just, I don't think that I'm gonna go into labor anytime soon. So can you give me the membrane sweep? Can you check my cervix and can you give me a membrane sweep? So I got my 3rd membrane sweep. Mind you, the 2 before it did not work. All I was doing was losing my mucus plug, okay? So I got my 3rd membrane sweep. He did it and it hurt, but he did it. We left, no contractions or whatever. So I got the membrane sweep on a Thursday, and on Friday is when everything started getting real. After the doctor's office, I just came home, I chilled, I didn't really do much. I watched a movie with my baby. I pretty much just sat on the couch and went to sleep. You know, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. That was my mindset. And also I wouldn't believe that it was gonna happen unless my water broke. So come Friday, just July 12th, at 7 a.m. I had my very first contraction, and I was asleep, but I woke up thinking like it hurt, but I'm thinking it was a dream because I was like, that happened? That's me questioning myself, like, that happened? Okay, whatever. That was very strong. That's what I was thinking, like, that was a very weird, strong feeling that I had in my dream. And so nothing happened until like 9, and around that time I had 2 more. Both of them were spread out. I don't know how many minutes apart they were, but I know they were not like super close together to make me think like, oh, you're about to go into labor. When I got these 2 contractions, I was like, okay, that hurt. You know, I'm in, apparently my friends say you're in denial. So I'm in denial at this moment. Like nothing's, it's just a cramp. It's just a feeling. So I get up and I go use the restroom. And if you don't know that the toilet is called the dilation station, it's because it's the one place that your body completely relaxes, and it's like the one place where you're like in a perfect squat. So keep that in mind. So I go to use the restroom, and TMI, but I immediately, like as soon as I sat down, I got the runs bad. Like I was draining my entire body. Once I got done, I, you know, went to wipe or whatever, and that was my buddy show. And I was like, okay, that's another sign of labor. But again, I'm still in denial. So I get the mucus plug, you know, mucus plug, buddy show, same thing. Well, buddy show got blood in it. I get that, and I FaceTime my friends. And I call them, I'm like, so do you guys think that this is the, mind you, I'm still having like here and there contractions. Me thinking these are cramps, these are poop cramps. Like I got the runs, this is a poop cramp. I call my phone. Oh, she got a lot to say. So I call my friends and I'm asking like, do you guys think this is like a labor buddy show? Like is this what the labor buddy show look like? Or is this just, you know, mucus plug? And I warned them, let them know I'm gonna show you it. They didn't care, but they looked at it and they were like, yeah. And I told them, I was like, I've been having like little cramps or whatever, but they're not anything. That's, again, me in denial, still thinking like, okay, these are just cramps. These are just the regular type of cramps that I've been feeling all throughout my pregnancy. Mind you, I've gone into false labor multiple times. So again, I'm in denial. So we agreed that at 9:30 a.m. is when I would start like timing them, because I wasn't timing them before. So I'm texting my man, let him know like, hey, I'm cramping. He's asking me like, what do you want me to do? What do you think I should do? Type deal. And I'm telling him like, the hospital tells you that you need to have, your contractions need to be 5 minutes apart. They need to be an hour. You need to time them for an hour. They need to be at least 5 minutes apart. And once they get to that, then you come in. So I'm telling him like, I need an hour. Again, me thinking like, it's just gonna stop. At this point, he's like super close to the house. He's like 20 minutes away. His next stop at work is like 2 hours, I think, or an hour and 30. Still an hour, at least an hour. So I tell him that he can go ahead and go. By the time he come back, I'm thinking like, I would have resolved it. All of this is happening. My baby is still asleep. My 1-year-old Macy, she's still asleep in her room. I know as a mom, gotta get her up, you know, feed her breakfast, change her diaper from the night, you know, do all those things. At this point, I'm still having like contractions, and they hurt. So I was like breathing through them. Once 9:30 hit, we started timing them. We timed our first one. I remember my friend saying, that these are really close together. When she said that, I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm not thinking that I'm in labor, but I'm basically trying to maneuver and get things done while I'm having these contractions. They're coming back to back. They're probably like 2-3 minutes apart. And so I'm thinking, have a contraction, do something for Macy. Have a contraction, do something for Macy. So at this time, I was getting her breakfast ready, and it was pretty much just a warmed up cinnamon roll. Also, I was trying to eat too, so it was a warmed up cinnamon roll, a fruit cup, and I poured some cereal in a plate. I was just trying to give her some food. So I was doing that in between contractions, or trying my best, and I was trying to hurry up because I needed to just go ahead and get her everything together with her out the way so I can focus on the pain. As soon as I placed the plate down, I paused because I had another contraction. So I stood there, had a contraction, you know, breathed through it or whatever. Then I rushed down there, grabbed her diapers and wipes, went in there, didn't even say good morning, and I started changing her because I had to hurry up and change her before another contraction happened because I could not leave her without a diaper on while I'm having a contraction. So I'm hurrying up, changing her, and as soon as I get done changing her, I laid out on the floor and had a contraction because it was bad. It was hurting so bad. So I was having a contraction on the floor, got through it. I got her and I put her in her chair, and I'm telling my friends like, hey, I'm gonna call my mom. And I call her. At this point, I'm kind of thinking that I'm in labor, but I'm not like 100% at all. Not even like, probably not even like 10. But I call my mom and I'm like playing around. I'm like, I think I'm in labor. You know, that's exactly how I said it too. And she was like, what? I always mess with my mom like that. Not 100% sure that I'm in labor, but I'm just letting her know like, hey, I'm having cramps. As soon as like I said that, I think I started having one, and it's a certain noise that you make when you're in labor, and it's like a ooh type of noise. And literally she was like immediately, as soon as she heard that, she was like, no, Miyla, you need to call him. You need to tell him that he needs to come home. You need to go get ready, blah, 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 like all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm having a contraction, but I'm like smiling through it, but I'm still in pain. But I'm like, I'm laughing at her because it was funny to me. Because I'm like, there's no way, like this isn't for real. But I'm like, okay, I'll call him. I'll tell him. And I told her, I was like, but mama, like me still being the kid that I am in my head, I'm like, but mama, I feel like I gotta poop. Like, and I told her, I was like, I was already having the runs. And she was like, do not go. She was like, do not, she was yelling at me, do not go sit on that toilet. Do not push, do not do anything. And I was like, why can't I go? I was like, remember when I was in labor with Macy and I kept telling everybody, like, I feel like I have to poop, and I really had to poop. So I was like, this is probably that. This is probably what I'm feeling. Like, I remember telling her this, and she's like, no. And it's all based off that contraction that I had while I was on the phone with her. She was like, no, that is real labor. At this point in my pregnancy, so many things that happened, I wouldn't believe in anything. I needed my water to break for me to be fully convinced. But she was like, no, don't do any of that. Call him, all that stuff. And so I was like, okay, I won't go sit on the toilet. I lied. I went and sat on the toilet, but we'll get to that. We hung up, and I called my man. After I hung up on her, I was like, started feeling the different type of contraction. I was like, oh, this is labor. As I was calling him, and I was bent over, I had my hands on the countertop, and I was like right above our dishwasher. I was calling him, and I was telling him like, I think you should come. He was like, okay. This is me just now realized like, oh, this is labor. I don't remember much of that phone call. I just remember telling him like, hey, I think you should come. And I remember staying on the phone like longer than I should have, so he could hear that I'm having a contraction. So after that, run Macy's high chair into the bedroom, opened our bathroom door so I could still see her, turned on her TV, and literally having a contraction while I'm trying to turn on Miss Rachel so she could be occupied. And that was like real hard. Turned it up loud so she couldn't like hear me, because at this point I was like, because they were coming like back to back to back to back to back, back to back. Anyways, I turned on the shower and I hopped in the shower. And in the shower, that was probably the best thing that I could have done. Literally the best thing I could have done, because that water felt so good on my back, on my stomach, but I was having contractions back to back in that shower, and I did not want to get out. I did not want to get out of the shower. I wanted to stay in that shower the whole entire time, but I couldn't because I had a baby. Eventually I was like, okay, it's time to get out. It was so cold and that did not feel good at all. Got out, felt like I had to poop. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit on the toilet and I'm not gonna push. I'm just gonna sit there, and if it starts coming out, then it starts coming out. Sit on the toilet. As soon as I sat on the toilet, I was like, no, because it started hurting extremely. Like that pain. It felt like the baby head was coming out. That pain and the baby head coming out pain felt the same. Now that I think about it, it was like immediately no. And I got up and I was having a contraction as I was getting up, and I grabbed my towel, I was drying myself off, and I walked into the closet. I'm in the closet, sitting there on the floor, having contractions. My baby comes in, she was like, doing exactly what I was doing. On my hands and knees, she gonna get on her hands and knees. I looked at her and I started squatting, and she started squatting too. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she just thought it was just the funniest thing, just mocking me. I was like, I don't wanna see this. I'm having contractions, you mocking me. She tried to give me a hug. And as soon as she tried to I gave her one back, and I had her like this, trying to like basically wrap her legs around me. And as soon as she did that, I started having a contraction. And so I like leaned forward and like laid her on the floor, and I got on my hands and knees. So I was like above her, and I was like, and she just laughing, just thinking it's so funny. I looked to see how far my man was, and when I looked and it said 42 minutes away, I started crying so hard, like bawling, crying, because I was like, there's no way that I can do this for 42 minutes. There's no way. But I was just like, it was like probably like 2 contractions that I felt like that, when it was like a little crying or whatever. And then eventually I was like, well, I don't have a choice, so I'm gonna have to get myself together. Before this, I wasn't doing like no type of breathing. I was just trying to get through the contraction. As soon as I saw that and I went through the little motions, I was like, okay, well, you're gonna have to get it together. In my head, I'm like, okay, breathing. Remember to breathe. Do your breathing, you know, deep breaths, all of that, the ooh, deep voice when you breathe out. Yeah, I was trying my best, but it's like, the pain is like, it would intensify more the more I tried I don't know. I'm making all these breathing noises loud, the house is echoing, and then here come my baby doing the same thing. So then I got up and I started like, I noticed that when I got up real fast and I started like doing my feet like this, basically like walking real fast in place, it felt a little bit better in between the contractions. So started doing that around the bar, pretty much having a contraction. I was like, and I was speed walking around our bar like in circles, and she was chasing me the whole time. So I was like, okay, well, at this point it's just a game. So I really was going like faster to get away from her, and she just thought it was so funny. So my man comes home and he hears me. He comes into the closet and Macy is there with me. Immediately I'm telling him like, get the baby, get the baby. And as soon as I said that, he's like, on go. As soon as I got in the car, I was like, I'm gonna be loud, I'm sorry. That's all I remember saying before things started getting a little bit more intense. So driving down the road, I'm having contractions. My man is telling me to breathe. There's this like part of the road that we're on that like has construction, and it's like one side stops and the other side's able to go, and then the other side stops. So that's what I was thinking, that we were about to stop and the other side was about to go, and we have to wait for them to go, and then we're gonna be able to go. But thank God that it was just like we slowed down a little bit. But I was kind of getting irritated because I was having contractions and we were slowing down. The other contractions, I was like this, had my eyes closed, squeezing, you know, doing other things, but I felt us slowing down. So in the middle of this contraction, I'm looking like this, like, we're slowing down. I don't want to slow down. We need to keep going. In my head, I'm thinking like, can he go on the side rails? Can he do something? I think he read my mind because he immediately said like he wants to be safe. Irritation lasted like 2 seconds. 1, because the contraction pain got worse, and 2, because I understood. Thank God we weren't stopped there. So we kept going, kept going, kept going. And I remember like once we passed this intersection is when things started getting like intense, like intense. The handle that's in the car, I was pulling it down and that wasn't working, and I was pushing it up. Had both hands and I was pushing it up. It was hurting so bad, insanely bad. The fact that I didn't have no choice but to go through it, I think that's what made the pain 10 times worse. Because when Macy's labor and stuff, that was a breeze. Like that was, I mean, it was still painful, but I managed it 10 times better than I did. The whole entire time, I'm thinking about an epidural. The whole entire time, I'm thinking about an epidural. I want to go all natural. I didn't want any payments. Every contraction I had, the only thing that got me through it was an epidural. Thinking of, I'm finna go to this hospital and I'm finna get epidural. They're gonna tell me that I'm only 5-6 centimeters dilated. I still gotta go to 10. I'm gonna be like, that's cool. Just give me the epidural. Going through that pain, and I'm like trying to put my feet into the seat or whatever. My water had broke, and so I put my hand down there and I was feeling it, and it wasn't. But when I took it out, I saw more of my mucus, bloody show. It was on my hand. Mind you, I had the trash can. I was throwing up. Just how you know the pain was bad when you throwing up. I got my hand and I put it back, like down there, and then I don't know what made me do it, but I put my finger inside of me, and I promise you, this second line, like right here, that second line, that's how deep my finger went before I felt the baby's head. And I called labor and delivery because I was like, oh, I feel like, at the time I wasn't like, oh, I feel the head. I was thinking like, I feel something. What is that? Is it the head? Is it not? I don't know. So I called labor and delivery, and I'm telling them like, hey, 50 minutes away from the hospital, I can feel the head. I'm having contractions. I'm in labor, pretty much. Help me. I'm thinking like they can tell me something that could, you know, help me get through the pain on the way there, all of this type thing. And so she started saying a bunch of stuff. I don't know what she was saying, honestly. She was saying so much stuff. But all I remember at the end is that she said, if you don't think you're gonna make it, call 911 and they'll have EMS. And I remember hanging up. I don't remember nothing she said besides that. He called 911, gave me the phone, and I basically told them the same thing that I told labor and delivery. Like, hey, we're 50 minutes out from the hospital. We were actually 58, but we were 50 minutes out from the hospital. I can feel the baby's head. I'm having contractions. Like, I don't know what to do.
911. We are 50 minutes away from the hospital, and my wife is in labor, and we don't think we'll make it.
Okay, just stay on the line with me. I'm going to get you in with EMS, and I will let them know the closest box number to you. Give me 1 second.
They transfer us to EMT, and they're basically like helping us over the phone. They transfer us over to EMT, and the lady is like asking him, I'm having contractions, so he's on the phone with them talking. I'm just having the contractions. She told him like, can you see the head? He's like, no, I can't see it. He looked down, he's like, no, I can't see it. And I'm thinking like, yeah, you can't see. My finger is still inside of me, by the way, but I feel it. I'm feeling the head. He can't see it, but I know when I have a contraction, he's gonna be able to see it. So as soon as I start having a contraction, I'm telling him like, yeah, I bet you can see it now. You can see it now. Look, 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 look. So he looks and he can see the head. And
Are you on the side of the road?
There's a picnic area I pulled over to just now.
Okay, I have a couple questions, okay, but they're already on the way to help you.
Okay.
How old is she?
21.
Okay. How many weeks or months is she?
39 weeks.
Okay. Can you see any part of the baby right now?
Well, she can feel the head. She can feel the baby's head.
Okay. Can you see the head?
No.
You cannot see the head?
Not yet.
Is she having contractions?
The baby is coming.
I can't see the head. I tell him he can after I have a contraction, because when I'm having a contraction, the baby's head is coming down, and I can feel it coming down. Like each contraction, every time I have a contraction, it's like it's being pushed down. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing everything and nothing at all at the same time. My body is basically doing everything. I'm just feeling the pain. He tells her that he can see the head. She's saying a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what she was saying because I was having contractions. But I remember her basically telling us, like, you're going to have to deliver the baby.
Okay, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do next. Do not try to prevent the birth, okay?
I'm in the passenger seat, by the way. We have 2 car seats right behind our seats, and I can't go all the way back. So I'm, like, sitting up the whole entire time. But I turn this way. So this is, like, the outside area. The door is open, and I'm on, like, leaning towards the middle console. He comes around and he's standing right there. I'm like wide open, and I have one leg on his shoulder and the other one on the like door, window, or whatever, and we're just like that the rest of the time until the baby was born.
Just allow her to assume the most comfortable position and take deep breaths between the contractions. With each contraction, place the palm of your hand against her vagina and apply firm but gentle pressure to keep the baby's head from delivering too fast or tearing her. Do you understand what I was saying? It's going to be slippery, okay? So don't drop it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. The water hasn't broke.
But she can feel the head coming out?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, then don't worry about the water part. As the baby delivers, I want you to support the baby's head and shoulders. How's she doing?
She's good right now. Another contraction is coming.
Okay, so as she pushes, you're going to help her, okay? But you don't want to drop the baby. It's going to be slippery.
Okay. Breathe.
Okay, what do you see?
Well, I just can see the sack when she's in the contraction.
Whenever you push, can you feel the sack around the baby?
Yes. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Are you where you're going to be able to catch the baby?
Yes.
Do you have something clean to wrap the baby in when it gets here?
I probably can't get to it just yet.
Can you take his shirt off?
Yeah, I can.
I mean, whatever you need, because you're going to need to wrap the baby when it's born. How you doing, Mama?
So eventually I have a contraction to where the head is about to come out, and then the head comes out, and then after the head comes out, it just stays right there.
How far away is it?
I can't see them, but they're coming lights and sirens.
The baby is here.
The baby's here? Okay. Keep the baby between the mother's legs and level with her bottom. Okay, is the baby crying and breathing?
The sack's still on the baby.
I'm not having another contraction. I'm not having anything that's gonna push anything else out at that moment. So we're just sitting there with the head out. Pretty much the sack still hasn't broke yet. My water still hasn't broke. And I'm literally just sitting there with the baby's head in between my legs. He's saying, like, do you have anything that you could break it with? Some sharp. She's asking if we got clean towels. She's asking if we have, like, I'm like, can he use his shirt? He asked if he can use his nail to break the water.
Do you have something you can pop her water with?
No, we don't.
Can I do it with my nails?
If you think so, just make sure you don't hit the baby, okay? But go ahead and try to pop that sack that's around her.
I was eventually able to have another contraction, and that's when the shoulders and everything else started coming out.
The baby is
here.
The baby's here. The baby's here.
The baby's here.
Okay. Is the sack still around the baby?
Pull.
Yeah.
It did break?
Okay.
Okay, now listen. Keep the baby between the mother's legs and level with her bottom, okay?
I remember I was telling him, like, pull, because her feet were still in me. Like, her body was out, he was holding her, but I was like, pull, her feet still in me. I need the feet to come out. The lady was like, wipe her nose.
Did you dry the baby off for me?
We're wiping her face.
Okay, wipe her face and her nose, in her mouth, okay? Just wipe it off. Mom, are you doing okay?
We sat there for a minute, and EMT passed us, and we told the lady on the call, like, hey, they passed us.
Yes. What about my placenta?
Okay, just leave everything the way it is, okay? They should be there with you in a second.
They passed us.
They passed on.
Hi, baby.
She okay?
Yeah. Hi, baby. Hey.
We didn't cut the cord until EMT got there, so the baby was just sitting on me, and my placenta was still in me. I haven't delivered the placenta yet. They cut the cord, and then I had to get up. They helped me up, and I had to walk from the passenger seat to the gurney. My placenta's still in me. It was pretty, and I didn't have no shoes on. I was walking barefoot. I got into the ambulance, and I delivered the placenta in the ambulance. They brought the baby into the ambulance, and my man gets back in the car, and him and Macy are on the way to the hospital right behind us. But yeah, my man delivered the baby. It was a whole crazy experience. And I really want to say big shout out to my man. He delivered our baby, and big shout out to him for the fact that he gives me my props. I give him his props, he gives me my props, but I really appreciate him giving me my props. Really rare that you see any of this happen, actually. But, you know, for him to deliver the baby, everybody's really just like shook. Which I am too. Like, that's crazy that he delivered the baby. But he really says, like, you know, she did all the work. It's really how I wanted it, but like in a different setting. I wanted an all-natural birth. I wanted it to be just me and him, and I wanted us to just go through the emotions, and I prayed about it because it wasn't going how I wanted it to in the beginning. And God was like, you want this? I wasn't specific at all. Specific at all. He was like, you want this? I got you. You're gonna get it. And I got it in a car on side of the road with my man and my first baby. And we just had a like whole intimate moment. We delivered the baby on side of the road, all natural, no epidural, no medication. Like, he literally gave me what I wanted. It may not happen how you want it, but it'll happen. That's my labor and delivery story. I really hope you enjoyed it. So grateful that we were able to bring Miyla Jane into this world.
Hey, Miyla.